Welcome back to the Breakroom.
When you think he's out, he's always back in.
I'm Zach Huddleston. Even when I'm out, I'm in. We got some more Loki images after the trailer release, and so we're going to get into them. It's me, Tommy B, and joining me today are the illustrious Coy Jandreau. How are you, Coy?
So excited to be here.
And the brother from another mother, the caramel to my sweet cream.
Whoa, pause.
Caramel
To his sweet. You know
Caramel.
what? I was cool with the brother from another mother. The chocolate.
My reverse sister from a reverse mister. It's opposite day. Boys are girls and girls are boys. Nice change, Jay. It's Jay Washington.
You know, there are days I do things, and every day I fight for my spot in heaven. And Tommy is making me fight for it again today. Thank you.
Why would you say that, Zach?
Jesus, give me strength. Jesus, give us all strength. As always, this show is powered by Christ. This is a Christ-forward show with a little bit of Satan sprinkled on top for good measure. Now, we like to say this before every stream. I say it before I pee, just to be safe. I don't want any single stream to not be covered by this. SAG-AFTRA has informed us that entertainment journalists like these two and myself are allowed to cover movies, TV, and entertainment news during the strike. We aren't going to be doing any future agreements with the studios to promote their releases the way influencers do, you know, those sickening influencers. Not until the strike is resolved or we get further guidance. So we are editorializing on these titles. We are not promoting. I'm not telling you to see anything we are talking about. Quite frankly, it makes me angry that I can't just go out and audition for these theatrical shows the way I like, and my fellow actors like. Today I had 2 hours I spent on a commercial audition because some unhinged lunatic thought we should learn a song, make up our own dance, and do 10 individual poses. Let me tell you how unreasonable that is. That would never happen. That would never happen.
Yes, it would.
That's crazy.
It actually did.
That's a lot.
It was a 10-minute explanation. We need to get theatrical back. Studios, please pay the writers and actors what they're worth.
Please.
I can't make up more dances. I simply can't.
His knees won't take it, ladies and
My
gentlemen.
knees are fine. It's my balls that are sore. All right. Let's talk about some of these Loki stills, shall we?
What dances are you making?
What kind of dances are
All my
balls
dances involve blunt force contact with a wiffle ball bat to my testicles.
That is a category that's not meant for Twitch.
Well, listen, I want to book the commercial, so I'm going to do what it takes.
Okay, all right.
These images are...
Pay your writers, folks.
Pay the writers, please.
Please pay writers. Pay readers, for Christ's sakes.
Pay the writers.
Those are called actors.
Yeah. Pay a better actor than me. These images were released along with the episodes that they take place during, so we're going to kind of go picture to picture. So can we see image 1, please? Ooh, that's Hunter. Huh? Season 1 left with Hunter teaming up with Mobius in this new iteration of the TVA. Can we see that picture one more time? I just want to scan. Looks like two goons next to her.
Yes.
Hunter with 2 goons.
Goons confirmed.
Today?
I don't know. It's just something about me that has you smiling. What's got you smiling like that, Jay?
You know, I'm just happy to be here with both Tommy and Coy.
right.
You know, this is going to be one of the most fun, hyper episodes. But also, it's just with certain images that they've released. I guess they just want to show us Wumi Moscow. But it's like we don't see much in this still. Like, let's be real. I'm gonna be honest with you because a lot of people always be in the comments, well, they're not breaking down things realistically.
Right.
I'm being realistic. That's still. Go back to that picture real quick, Dashiell. It's okay. We see her, TVA, the two background actors who are clearly gonna tell people, make sure y'all watch me in Loki. That's gonna be my profile picture. Like that's what that is.
They've earned it.
They've earned it. But it's not much to go off of. Like you said, we know of this new iteration of the TVA.
Yeah, I mean, I would say because we know that this image, or what we think based on the labeling of this image, it's from episode 1. What they're showing us is that Hunter is in a similar spot as she left season 1, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's like still in the tactical gear. Those guys look like they have like beige, like almost fatigues.
The pants are different, right?
Yeah,
the TVA. I don't remember the TVA.
They almost
and the
look like
leg.
Howling Commander.
Yeah, that's new.
That's the difference.
So
yes.
I would imagine that would be a way to mark variants. Like that could be a way to label which universe you're in. Maybe some of them have a different colored pants, some of them have the TVA label. So what I'm reading into this image is we're meeting our team and we're seeing what the difference is from the last time we saw them, but also doing that kind of remember these characters because it's been a couple years since Loki. So I'd imagine the first, 10th or 20th of the episode is going to be that like, hey, remember these characters. here's why you love them.
Right.
But also in a way that's showing that they might not be the ones you know so specifically, because they might be just off of the holy timeline. Like, so I'm intrigued by the labeling of the clothes.
I think we'll see again, and I'll let, because I know you're ready to get into it. The TVA in itself, we know it's a whole new TVA after the break, after the whole multiverse, everything breaking down, right? So when Loki starts, we're naturally going to get the previously on Loki, which is going to be a quick, snapshot of everything that led us up to this moment. So when we see the TVA now that is going to be what we saw in that picture is the TVA we're going to be using going forward. In
season 2,
yeah,
that's the new
TVA,
precedent.
That's the TVA going forward.
But I think the visual demarcation of the difference because of the flashback is important.
Gotcha.
That's the reason I think this image is a little bit of like, oh, this is vital to something. Just to distinguish from the other. Because I also think we're going to be jumping through a lot. Like, that trailer is full of a lot of timelines. And I also think, and this is my tinfoil hat theory firmly placed on, I think this is tying directly into Deadpool 3.
Absolutely, because we know Mobius. Interacting. We also know Mobius and the TVA are going to be in Deadpool 3.
Exactly.
Please extrapolate.
No,
so Owen Wilson's in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, he's in Deadpool 3.
And we know that Miss Minutes is interacting with them on Twitter a lot.
Right.
Yep.
That
so
Miss
I
Minutes
assume
account is a fan account, right?
No,
the blue check Miss Minutes.
The real Miss Minutes.
Oh, there is a blue check.
There is a real Miss Minutes.
So I think
Twitter
that we're
account.
going to be interacting with the end of Loki. I think doesn't get enough, like nothing gets solved to the point where Deadpool 3 can't happen. Okay. I think he's trying to get himself in at a time slip, and then Deadpool's got to clean up stuff.
Do you think, real quick, that Deadpool becomes just a post-credit scene at the end? Because I think Loki will, just like it's always been, Loki has been a self-contained show for the most part.
Which I love.
And I don't think we're going to break that in season 2. But it is going into what Deadpool is going to be.
I think, honestly, the way Deadpool makes the universe happen is you got to make it as tight as possible. So it'd be smart of them. And we haven't really had a movie post-credit scene in a show yet, because they keep saying like they're all connected, but then like zombie Doctor Strange was certainly not the same one as movie.
No,
so it'd be nice if they start making that. And I think the way to do that is with timelines. I've also had a theory for a while that we have had different timelines in Phase 3 and 4 than people realize. I think they very intentionally had Spider-Man swing through by the same tree that ended with Hawkeye and didn't have Hawkeye there. I think we're going to have the Secret Wars movie show that the timelines we've been living in haven't been lining up. So I could easily see Loki start to plant seeds of like, this isn't all the same timeline.
Well, we said that on the Secret Invasion Breakroom we did with that. There's a lot of stuff going on at the same time, but everything isn't what we think it is.
There's a reason that like Giant Celestial hasn't been mentioned.
There's a reason it has not.
I don't think that's in the timeline.
And the last time it's been mentioned is She-Hulk. And no matter how many people are going to hate it and mad upset, that is the last time Tiamat has been mentioned.
Right, and that was the first time since Eternals.
That was the first time since
Eternals. So it's only
been one. Right. So people could say Damage Control could be dealing with it, TVA could be dealing with it, all these other different elements could be dealing with it, but
I hope it's the Thunderbolt's house. Because in the comics, the Avengers
live in there for a while. They live in there for a while.
I think it'd be a very clever way to show the
I don't know
power
if
of
they'll
the
go that far.
Thunderbolts.
But see, I don't know if the MCU would do that.
I don't know, but I know the Avengers Mansion got bought 8 years ago and hasn't been mentioned since.
Well, this is very true.
Spider-Man is
what's coming soon? 1, 2, 3, blank.
I definitely think it's going to be a lot of disparate timelines, and I think Loki's going to start to jump around those timelines,
what if
and
Loki,
we'll see that.
Damn it, we're going so far ahead. What if Loki opens up the door to FF because we thought that it was going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania?
I think if they were cast, that would be the case.
They are. They are.
I think they were.
No, they are.
Okay.
They are.
All right. Well, it's right in the middle of all this.
Sorry. I'll talk to you off air.
We'll finish this conversation off air. Now,
editorialize the image.
I think it's interesting that, according to your point, and Jay, I believe your point as well, the Loki tends to be a standalone show about Loki. However, the last episode of Loki gave us He Who Remains a Kang variant. Could perhaps the last episode of Season 2 Loki give us Deadpool in the MCU in a post-credit scene, kind of Easter egg into a massive character Easter egg into a show about someone else. Now, the next image we have, Huy Quan image. Look at that. There he is, OB, working in his office. We saw this in the trailer. He came down in that amazing chair, spiraling down. It was incredible. It was my favorite part of the trailer. He's just zipping around. You're like, who is this guy? So we see that this one is labeled as an episode 1 still. Does that mean we're going to get OB all season? We think it's going to be a big part because last year in episode 1, we got Eugene Cordero's character. Anyone feel free to refresh me his name in the show.
I don't know if anybody
remembers
his name.
It's a very nice
Casey.
He was in episode 1 pretty heavily, if I recall, explaining things about the TVA, and then very sparingly throughout the remainder of the show. I think Eugene is an incredible actor, a very, very funny person. I would love to see both Casey and OB take have bigger parts this season. So I guess to start with OB, what do you think? How many episodes of the 6?
Look, Kevin Feige told Huy Quan, what do you want to do?
Right.
Like he hit Mahershala Ali.
Right.
What do you want to do? Where do you want to be in this? So I would say, do we know how many episodes of Loki we're getting?
I think it's 6. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I think the assumption's been 6.
6.
What was the first season?
6.
Okay.
So probably same thing.
Okay.
So I can say at least 50% of the episodes. Because I don't think he'll be in the full Victor Timely episode when they're in the past.
Right.
I don't think he'll be there. And I think that's at least 1 to 1.5 episodes. Yeah. So I think you at least 3 out of 6 episodes, you're going to get him. You're going to get your money's worth out of an Academy Award winner.
Yeah.
So
I think the character is going to be very much the guy in the chair meets his character and everything everywhere all at once.
Okay.
I could see him being the one that explains the rules. I could see because he's clearly going to him for wisdom. He says like you can't do that here.
He's got
It
the
just
library
happened.
behind me up.
I see him as the character that explains what's happening, and we go back to him as this hub of like, okay, this just happened. What do we do? Help. Like I see wisdom behind this, and also like he literally descends as a guy in a chair.
And he says time slipping because remember he's the one who says in the trailer time slipping can't happen in the TVA, and Mobius is like, you just saw it.
But it is. And that's kind of the weird, not uncanny valley thing, but TVA employees have that weird thing where they just like matter-of-factly state rules even as they're being broken in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's always kind of like, there's a little something
There's
not
a
quite
brainwashing.
human. Right.
There's the idea being a variant was beautifully handled by the end of the first
Yes.
season. I think we're gonna have something similar where it's not quite all real to them because there's that sense of unease, that sense of like what is this exposition?
Sure.
Do you think that our core TVA members will actually have a realization that something's wrong?
I think early. Because the way the first season ended, they didn't let that realization happen, and I think if they don't do that early, the stakes don't feel like they escalate. I think it's a great way to escalate stakes. So I'd say maybe the end of episode 2, especially if they give us 2 episodes at once. I think
they'll release both.
And so I think that that they do that cliffhanger at the end of the second episode. I think that's going to be the cliffhanger of like everything's changed because now we all know.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great lead into our next shot because here's our team. This shot is seemingly OB, Hunter, Mobius, and Loki. Seemingly on the same side by this image. And are we in? Is this the TVA or is this? It almost
probably
looks like,
one of the rooms in the TVA.
Doesn't it almost kind of look like an old post office or elementary school?
Well, there's that Art Deco mid-century thing.
But
TVA
that's what the
over.
TVA looks like.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just exposing. Renslayer with her school background. You know, she's not in that shop, and maybe they're looking for Renslayer in her old high school.
It definitely feels like government issue, which makes me think it's big TVA room, and the centralized location of the glowing light makes me think they're all.
That's
looking
what I was
at,
about to bring
They're all
up.
looking at something that's about to be important.
Yep, that
and
light
that could
is
end the
something.
second episode.
Yeah.
Could be a cliffhanger moment.
What's Mobius's gun there? Can we see that again? What is this gun? It looks kind of like a horseshoe crab. I don't know if anyone's ever had the absolute terror of seeing a horseshoe crab live and in person, but it's basically like a guitar head with a whip. You know that
They live forever.
Yeah, they live, to my knowledge, 1,000 years. You know how Stingray took out Steve Irwin with that
thing
barb?
could take out a lot of
That's
people.
basically that. They have that barb that could also kill. They take out the rest of the Irwin family, which, quite frankly, not soon enough, in my opinion. They're not kids.
Learn something new about Tommy.
They're not kids anymore.
Anti-Irwin. Didn't know there were such
You want to
people.
dangle babies in front of a crocodile, then I say, let the crocs get their justice.
I feel like that's a stabilizing element. I feel like Mobius has a gun that might stabilize the time slip.
Yeah.
Like that's what I see. Like
Yeah, I agree.
maybe that's something that kind of Ghostbusters his way into making things stable.
Absolutely.
I think Jay's still on the crab.
Yeah, what do you,
I'm past the crab.
Okay.
I was gonna ask you all.
can we get an image of a horseshoe crab up on the TV for?
Also,
for
do
Jay?
you want
I don't
a real answer or what my childish brain went to?
I want it both.
Can I see the picture again? That is the TVA's pleasure device.
Oh,
that
God.
Mobius is bringing. That is a giant.
Who's that bringing pleasure to?
That's the
It's gonna
pleasure
have
through
to
the
be She-Hulk, 'cause
it's
I don't
called
think
pleasure
it's
through the
human.
multiverse.
My
It's
God.
pleasure-
That's gonna have to go in the Thanos because that's not going in a normal.
And the Thanos?
Yeah.
That's Miss Minutes'
God.
the Miss Minutes masturbator.
All right, let's quickly get on to
all
your
right.
real answer now, and then maybe a prayer.
It may be something that can help to try to stop the time slipping. Maybe it's not just
Okay.
Loki that is time slipping. There are other elements that are doing it. So there was a show back in the day, early 90s, called Time Tracks. The only reason I use this is because it was Dale Midkiff. Yeah, this is how far back I'm going.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know you don't. Give me a reason I bring it up. Yeah. He came from the future to the past and took these pellets to travel through time. The thing was, if you took 2, it would send you back, and that was it. So maybe it's something to send somebody back into their regular time and or universe.
Oh, like a permanent.
Yeah, something to stabilize them to take them back.
So like a next level pruner that has like a little more tech. Okay, I like that. Now, do we think that Loki needs the sacred timeline? Is that why Is that what this season's gonna be about?
No, I think Loki needs purpose.
Okay,
that's what this is. This is Loki having a purpose beside. Even though at one point Mobius says, "You're the god of mischief." You know, Loki doesn't want to just be the god of mischief.
Right.
He wants to have a purpose, and him trying to fix the sacred timeline seems like his purpose.
I think it's really interesting that it ends with I am the god of mischief, always have been, always will be, because Marvel effectively retroactively made him the god of stories in the comic books because of how good Tom Hiddleston is.
Yeah, they did.
Loki was the villain of Avengers, and then they were like, what if we keep him? And then now it's been 15 years, what if we keep him? And then the comics are like, what if we make him good? And now I feel like they might make him bad again. My big theory is the end of Loki season 2 is Loki doesn't stay on the side of the angels. Because the button of God of Mischief, always have been, always will be, is him literally saying, like, I'm not the god of stories. Like, that's something you guys made up for your sake. It'd be interesting if they made him a villain again and, like, actually made him...
It's the reverse of even when I'm out, I'm in.
Yeah.
It's like you can't kick me out. I'm still going to do good. It's like, I actually have always been evil.
I think he's going to use mischief for overall good, but it might cost him.
Oh.
I think mischief will be what has to be managed.
I feel like if Sylvie dies, then that's going to push him back.
That's the only way he goes back in.
I agree.
Sylvie has to die because he's in love with himself.
Speaking of having to die, I'm dying for some sweet, sweet merch. And Nerd Riot has dropped some new Boppenheimer designs. Don't wear this old merch like I'm wearing. Wear new Boppenheimer designs. We have the Atomic Blonde, the Box Office Bomb, which is the absolute opposite of what happened to both these movies, and the Career Change. I can relate to that. Now, keep spinning. Is that all? Is that all we have? No, that's it? Okay. Well, guys, the best way to support this channel is to go to nerdriot.shop. And remember, these shirts aren't licensed by the Greedy Studios. These are shirts of our own sick designs. So you want to stick it to the studio heads that are currently keeping you from watching anything other than Date My Mom on Fox or Horror Island or Pirates vs. Ninjas on FX Network, where we take 100 Somali pirates and put them up against 15 Tennessee ninjas to see who can survive in the most dangerous obstacle course in the world. That's the type of bullshit we're going to get if you keep buying merch from Mattel Connections, okay? Go to nerdriot.shop. Cause a riot in your town with these hot shirts. Nerdriot.shop. I prefer the Box Office Bomb, but gentlemen prefer Atomic Blondes. Now, let's talk Sylvie in episode 2.
Wait. The question is this. Tennessee ninjas?
Yes.
How fat or thick?
They're morbidly obese. A Tennessee ninja averages...
Does the gi stop here right under the nipple?
The gi starts there.
It starts at the nipple.
Yeah.
It's all...
They can't get it over their shoulder.
It's like, hit?
Yeah. The gi is more of a tube top.
It's like a sexy thing.
Yeah.
It's like...
Sexy is your choice.
I mean, that's what it is, a tube top.
We're allowed to editorialize.
I mean, if it's supposed to be, all right. Let's go to the next one.
Sure, Sylvie. Let's see this picture of sweet, sweet Sylvie with her awesome... Is that called a wolf cut? What is that cut? You know what I'm talking about? I think that it's like a style where it's like a mullet, but if women have it, it's a little more rough around the edges. Sophie Thatcher has it in Yellow Jackets. I think it's a wolf cut. Sarah Sherman has it on SNL. I like it. It's a wolf cut. I'm interested by it. Listen, looks aren't everything, but I like hair fashion and I want to talk about it. So let's see that picture of Sylvie again.
She's in her Loki garb.
Great, yes. Now, it looks like episode 2. That looks like she's in the house beyond the hills where he who remains live. What's it called? The Citadel? Citadel at the end of time. I like House Beyond the Hill where he who remains lives, but
that's a long thing.
Citadel at the end of time.
Where he who remains
lives. There's a star beyond time. No one remembers that song from Star Trek the Motion Picture because they left it off the soundtrack. All right. Episode 2 starts off with this image. Do we think we're going to pick up on Sylvie post-murder?
I think we find out the ramifications of the actions in a more linear way, because they have to kind of summarize. It's been a while since that episode. Sure. So we've seen and heard that the moment that He Who Remains is taken out causes a cascading effect that affects the whole universe. And theoretically, we've seen that burst of energy hit other moments in movies. I think we need to replay the moment it happens from her perspective, so we see the realization dawn on her.
Yeah.
What I'm assuming is we meet her in the second episode, we have that recreation from another angle, and then it maybe puts her into McDonald's.
Oh,
I think she forgets everything, and then it's her waking up. Like what's more, going from a god to working with McDonald's would be so disorienting.
Sylvie got a job.
So
those commercials.
Sylvie got a job.
Hey,
Sylvie got a job.
Sylvie, you want to hang out? I can't. I gotta go to work.
This is what they're going to play. This is why it's disorienting.
So can you imagine we cut the scene, all of a sudden we see the light hit the energy, and all of a sudden Sylvie pops up. Welcome to Hoochie Burger, man. I take your order.
Oh,
yeah, like an extra hoochie with fries. All right, drive around.
She has that wolf cut. It's all over.
So here's my thing. I wonder if when I like what you're saying, she has to see the ramifications. Is she immediately face to face with another Kang? Like she kills that Kang, the wave hits. Is she?
I think they save Papa Kang. I think Kang is the big bad that maybe is ominously left at the end of this season.
Understood.
I still have hoped that the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania Kang is revealed to not be the strongest there is because he got beat by some ants.
Yeah.
So I think we need a Kang that is more OP. Because one line of dialogue could have made Quantumania better. If all the Elder Kangs were talking in the post-credit scene and they said, like, that Kang that was a nuisance that made us all look bad was taken out by ants.
The weakest Kang.
Yeah, instead of the strongest Kang. Yeah. So I'm hoping they retroactively, because this was filmed after the response to that, they can say, like, maybe this is the strongest Kang. That guy was just arrogant and thought he was.
Because the strongest one is out here looking like David Lopan from Big Trouble Little China.
He's looking like Scrappy Doo.
He's
out here just let me at him,
and
that's not Kang.
That's not.
And what I love is Jonathan Majors knows exactly who Kang is, but the movie didn't let him be.
The movie didn't let us be. So I think what if, because like Kang will not, we know there are millions of variants, right, of every body. This is a given, no matter what. It could be, because I don't think we'll do, he's like the manager of the McDonald's. Like
it's a cosmic McDonald's.
He's like, he's Cleo McDowell. All of a sudden.
She works at Kong's.
She works at Kong's. Yep. Like Burger Kong.
Yeah, Burger Kong.
Burger Kong. Like,
it's just like pronounced differently, but it's clearly Kang. And he's got like
a little umlaut over the A.
Oh, Burger he's so good. And he's wearing like a Gus Fring button up. It's just like another place that he's Mr. Manager.
He's Mr. Manager, yeah.
I hope it's Krang from Ninja Turtles is the ultimate Kang.
That's a pizza joint.
Shredder! Now, we've got this next image from episode 2. It's multiple Lokis. We think he's doing the illusion spell, much like Mirage from pre-strike content Transformers. Rise of the Beasts. A real highlight of that film, Mirage able to duplicate himself. Loki, much like Multiple Man, played by Eric Dane in X-Men. Was it X-Men 2 or X3?
X3.
X3.
The last stand.
Every once in a while, that it helps to be able to create multiple versions of yourself. There's been a few scrapes in my life.
What I think is interesting is this image is the three of them in like corporeal form, but we also get that shot of Rafa Cassel who's being attacked by the shadows of multiple Kangs. So it looks like he can also manipulate the shadow version of himself, which is pretty mischievous.
You see the
but then like they can handle him physically. So the shadows like also multiply and are corporeal. So it's interesting to see the tangible hymns and then also the shadow hymns.
So it does seem like we are definitely going to get more Loki tricks and magic, but do we think we'll see a return to the like most powerful version of Loki we've had in the Avengers MCU?
But you got to remember, the most powerful version of Loki we saw had the scepter.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Like Loki's always had his abilities, always had his power, but the most powerful
when he
version.
had the Tesseract?
Yeah, when he had the Tesseract and the Mind Stone together. You know, that's the most powerful version of Loki we've really, I would say.
We've got all those stones they use as paperweights.
Which is to go back to Casey.
Yeah.
Are those paperweights still there?
Yeah. I kind of feel like if he escapes with some Infinity Gems, and they're the gems and not the stones or something, and it's like that we just have a Loki with 2 gems that like just is bad. An evil Loki, a trickster Loki with 2 Infinity Gems at work is pretty terrifying. Now let's get to the content that I like. Show me Ravonnaa. There she is. Episode 3, Renslayer. Do we think this has been tossed around? I feel like Ravonnaa is on her own mission right now, but some people are saying this could be an origin story. Is it possible Ravonnaa is 130 years old?
So there's a really good comic arc called Kang the Conqueror. I forget the subtitle, but it's by Jackson Lansing. So look up Jackson Lansing. It's an incredible comic, came out about 4 years ago, and it's Kang in love, and basically he becomes the Conqueror because he's not able to be with her. So all of his attempts at saving her are what caused him to say, I don't care about time, I'm going to take everything out. I think she's going to embody that element in the story by being on her own missions, and Kang realizing he can never be with her. So I think we're going to find out through this storyline that that's the one thing he can't attain, and that's what drives him mad, and I think that's going to be through her discovering him as Victor Timely, because that's what this looks like. It looks like that timeline, and him not being able to solve a thing. So I could easily see that image be the beginning of the Victor Timely and Ravonnaa love that spawns the Conqueror himself.
Because we don't have the Conqueror.
No. And we didn't really see anything with her loving him that much in the first one. It was we
just knew she knew of what everything
but
was.
Not love.
Yeah,
I want to see a love story. I think we're going to get that starting episode 2 or 3.
It's a love story. Baby, just say yes. Taylor's in town, everyone. The Eras Tour is here. It kicks off tonight, I think. Who's got tickets? Not me.
I work on the internet.
I work on this internet. What you got? I got tickets for Taylor.
I don't work at all, some say. Now, all right. Let's go to my favorite still because of the name, the Pie Room. Let's look at that Sweet Sweet Pie Room. I once went to the Pie Room in Atlanta, different type of club, okay? The Pie Room was a scene where you could, for $100, basically do what they called anything goes for 15 minutes.
First of all, that's a pie room you don't want to be if it's only $100 and 15 minutes.
I mean, I'm not expensive.
Let me tell you something. That's poontang pie on a government cheese
Jay, they
basis.
can inject your mouth with penicillin now, and anything you got in there goes
Why
away.
does it have to be my mouth?
Well, where else are you going to put the pie?
That type of pie or other places?
So,
all right.
The pies are all green. Green is the color of Loki's magic. We talked about this in the break room yesterday, but what's everybody's favorite pie?
Pecan.
Poontang.
Pecan is my favorite pie.
Your favorite pie?
That's why I said that.
Cold and hot.
And a Dutch apple, yes. I told a wonderful, heartwarming story of destroying a woman's legacy yesterday. Go back and watch it if you can. A fan of the show sent me a ChatGPT horror story based on that anecdote, and I gotta say, as much as AI terrifies me, I was touched that someone created something for me. What's your favorite pie?
Not no damn pecan. I like key lime pie.
Lemon meringue
pie.
Well, we think those might be key lime. Right?
That is too green to be key lime. That is Jello pie.
I'll tell you, our Floridians thought it was key lime pie yesterday.
Well, Floridians have to think of a lot of things. There's leprosy. There's leprosy in
Florida. There's a leprosy outbreak, plus they can't stop taking bath salts and crocodiles.
So, you get what you get.
Right. And you don't get upset. Nope. So your favorite, you said, what was your favorite pie?
Between key lime and lemon meringue.
Okay. How does everyone feel about cherry pie?
Disgusting.
Okay.
Depends my mood.
I think it could be. It's too fake. Usually, that's too close
if
to
it's
a maraschino.
Real cherry, I'm in.
Yeah, I need it to be a little more tart.
I like a nice apple, but with ice cream. I think the ice cream
apple
makes
pie
it levels it up.
Now let me ask you guys, regionally, did anyone ever know anyone who ate apple pie with cheese on it?
Yes, I heard
Isn't that
and
weird?
I felt like everybody that I knew 3 people that did that, and each time, the first time I was like, "You're disgusting" with the first person. The second person, I was like, "Who hurt you?" The third person, I was like, "I'm calling the police," because there's no reason you should put a slice of motherfucking Kraft cheese on apple pie.
And it is.
Why?
It's like American cheese.
It's American cheese. Why would you do what is
like
wrong with you in your heart
pie?
that you? I don't know what camera to look at. What is wrong with you in your heart that you put a slice of cheese on some pie? On apple pie. Look, apple pie is okay, but you put a slice of cheese on. Who hurt? What teddy bear didn't talk back to you? What toy didn't want to be your friend?
Right.
What?
I agree. And like my shop teacher said, I'll give you 3.14 reasons why you don't put cheese on your pie. Kia! We lost him. Oh, boy.
Yep, it was a 3.14.
Took him out.
Solid work.
Took him out.
He's gone now.
All right. Well, and these are just pie guys talking about pie politics. Now, we also got some posters. With the Mosters, can we see those posters? Let's see poster 1. Look at this. We got a nice spiral rampway with many characters featured in Loki season 1 and will be in season 2. And if you notice, deep in the corner there's Victor Timely. Now, do we think we get one Victor Timely episode, or is Victor Timely going to be the dominant Kang in this season of Loki?
I think there's going to be a timeline where they're trying to solve the time slipping that's separate of Victor Timely. I think Ravonnaa is going to be dealing with the Victor Timely of it all. I think that's going to be a separate plot point until the stories have to combine, like episode 3 or 4.
Well, let's
and
hope
then we
they
meet
do.
a new Kang in 5 or 6.
I think I agree with you on that because I think when Loki is with Mobius, he was like, it's him. Mobius has no idea what's going on. Because I don't know if Mobius never saw, unless when this whole new reality of the TVA came in, when we start seeing the statues of the Kangs, then Mobius understands who it is. But for Loki to be like, it's him, now it's like, wait, who is him? This dude. And so, like, again, time slipping in that, and you might have him be the one that knows a lot, because, again, it's about time travel.
Right.
He may be the one until he's murdered, and then, because he's not.
Well, I also think that Rafa's going to be a villain.
Rafa's a villain.
And I also think that we're going to have elements of, like, jumping around in a modern time, not just jumping to the past time. So I think we need a villain that's going to be working.
I think we'll spend more time we will jump around, but I think we'll spend more time in this past because those stills are showing they're focusing on this time period.
But I also think it's interesting that Loki's the kind of the one leading this time. Because remember season 1, Owen Wilson's Mobius was the one, like, Loki was kind of trapped and Owen Wilson was guiding, we were learning the rules. This looks like Loki is kind of the one showing.
Well, Loki's a member of the
He's the man of action.
Yeah, he's a member of the TVA.
So I think there's going to be a villainous element that makes the mischief. I think it's specific to Loki.
Okay.
Well, you guys missed my really compelling dueling serial killers narrative. H.H. Holmes from the Chicago World's Fair and Andrew Wolf from Zaniac, the actor that we think that guy
Raphael Casal.
we think is playing.
H.H. Holmes be a blast.
Both being possessed by the spirit of a serial killing, like some sort of serial killing entity, making those two people commit murders, and Loki and Co having to stop them as a subplot. People were gobsmacked by it.
I bet you they were, but I just think I first of all, great serial killer thoughts.
Thank you.
Great serial killer thoughts.
Thanks so much.
Always want to acknowledge your thoughts.
I appreciate that. Sometimes when I watch you sleep, I worry you don't think about me.
When you watch me, what?
Yep.
Moving on to poster 2. We have my girl. My girl, my girl, my girl, counting down, my girl, Miss Minutes. Oh, will Miss Minutes factor in a big way this season or a huge way this season?
Miss Minutes is evil.
Oh.
We did see that giant
piece of bread or whatever it is.
That may not have been her.
Just she was yelling.
She was yelling. It was Miss Minutes.
Oh, Miss Minutes, bitch!
Exactly. She looked like the Stay Puffed Man.
Yeah,
coming through New York
City.
But I think she's going to be a big element. I think they might have to, like, take out Miss Minutes, who controls time, in order to fix time. So I could see her being, like, not the antagonist, but an antagonist. Like, something that when things glitch, she becomes antagonistic to try to solve things.
Miss Minutes would be pivotal to a time slipping thing. So.
Right. So I'm assuming she's some form of antagonist they have to solve. And I'm very intrigued by that being a Deadpool element, which I do, honestly, I keep thinking, like, ties into all of this.
Deadpool has to meet Miss Minutes, and they must make love.
But again, whoa.
If he loves death, he can love time.
That's true.
I mean,
he loves lots of existential concepts.
He can screw the hell out the clock. Like, you got to beat the clock. Get it?
Go ahead and work. Yeah.
Get it?
You got to beat the clock.
Got to beat the clock. All right. But no, I think...
We rowing a boat there?
Yep, definitely rowing a boat.
Yeah, rowing a boat. Definitely rowing.
For our YouTube audience.
I just think, I think because of the whole Deadpool Miss Minutes thing, again, I think many people will start waiting on that to happen. That's why I keep bringing up him being a post-credit scene more than anything. Because I think if we start focusing on Deadpool's got to show up in this series.
I don't think he shows up in the series. I think they show a scene like in Civil War where it's something from Deadpool 3 as a post-credit scene.
Okay, that's fair.
That's the element I think.
That's fair.
But I think Miss Minutes is the great connecting tissue.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I don't want Deadpool in the show.
Yeah, because there's some people like,
and I hate that I said.
Because now that people know it, because some people knew that the TVA were going to be involved. So now they're like, oh, he's got to be in this series. And that doesn't mean he has to be.
We can see Matthew McFadden from Succession
in this as well as and I also think that these things might happen simultaneously because I think Loki is trying to prevent things from falling apart, and I think that Deadpool accidentally is causing things to fall apart. I think it's going to be, like I've said a million times, Deadpool goes to the Fox universe.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But I don't think it's him killing the Fox universe as he would in the comic where he's a mercenary. I think it's him trying to solve problems and he's accidentally destroying entire universes because he's inept. I think he's trying to find a way to save things but accidentally destroying them.
Just murdering everybody.
And that's like, I think he's looking for Wolverine. He finds the dead one in Logan, so he starts looking looking for other Wolverines. And when that happens, he starts to cause all these cataclysmic events that'll be referenced in Loki, but won't know the reference until we see Deadpool 3 next year.
Gotcha.
That's how I think Deadpool's involved, but not in him.
As of right now, I don't.
What is time?
Speaking of missed minutes,
we got to beat the clock, guys. That's it for us today. Make sure to give us a follow here on the Twitch stream. Subscribe to the Breakroom channel on YouTube, and you can catch cut downs and replays of all of our streams, as well as exclusive content, celebrity interviews, and so much fun stuff. That's it forever, YouTubers. Don't worry. This is completely the show, YouTube. That's all. Nothing else to see here.
YouTube.
Goodbye.